So I have a urination of ocelots to cover this week.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but I googled the collective noun for ocelots and apparently it is a urination. Go figure. But it's on the internet, so it must be true. In GTA Online this week, you have two ocelots available. You have this one and you have the X21, which I will have a review on later. But I decided to do this one first because I love this thing. This is based on the late 80s Esprit, sometimes called the X180, kind of like the S4 but not quite as up to date, but just a really cool car. And come on, pop-up headlights. What more do you want from a sports car than pop-up headlights? And the problem is that this thing is as brilliant as it is terrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of the reasons why this is terrible, and then I'm going to go through all the reasons why you should buy it, even though it's terrible. So as I said, it's on offer this week with the GTA Online weekly update. So as I usually do, I pulled mine out of the garage and took it on a lap, and I have to confess to you that lap did not go well. It did a 9:32, which is not a great time. It really isn't. Especially as this was supposed to be a sports car bordering on supercar at the time. But then I thought about why I have this thing in the game in the first place. So this sits in my Top Gear garage alongside the Arctic Explorer truck. You've got Hammond's Land Cruiser, you've got Clarkson's 928, again Hammond's Mach 1, and there James's Esprit from the Patagonia Special. And it was during this Top Gear challenge that the Esprit proved itself to be the most capable off-road sports car ever.
Having a spot of bother?
If that's even a category. So that's when I realised I'm doing this all wrong. And I shouldn't be doing a lap of the map. I should be doing an across the map. So that's what I did. So here we go with my first ever across the map in a British made sports car. How hard can that be? So ocelots in the game are generally either Jaguars or Lotuses. So essentially, if it's British and it's a little bit rubbish, there's a chance they'll put an Ocelot badge on it. Which, let's be fair, that's about right. And some of those problems translate across into the game. Now, one of them bugs me a little bit because the handling on this in the game isn't brilliant, whereas the handling in this in real life really was exceptional. When they used Esprits for the James Bond films, they famously had to drive them much faster than the crew were comfortable with, because if they didn't do that, it just didn't look like it was going fast at all, because this thing is just so well sorted. But in the game, the handling, do you know what? It's a bit meh. It's a little bit woolly. It's another one of those cars that has, or that seems to have, a really big dead zone in the middle. So when you first start to turn the wheel, not much happens. And then when you get it on the freeway, there isn't a huge amount of downforce. So you do tend to spin out quite a lot. But don't let that make you think it's not a fun car to drive, because it really is. It really is super fun to drive. I love this thing. I love driving it. On the plus side, you've got those looks, because this is possibly one of the best replicas in the game. It's almost indistinguishable from the real Esprit, and I love it for that, because I love the Esprit, especially in red. Now, it has another plus point that's also a minus point, because believe it or not, this is actually a weaponised vehicle. Yep, of all the vehicles in the game, Rockstar decided this one needed weapons. So what did they do? Did they give it rockets? Did they give it super cool, really aggressive rockets like on the Stromberg or on the Toreador? No. they gave it arguably the worst vehicle mounted machine guns in the game. Honestly, I think you'd do more damage with a strongly worded email than with the machine guns on this thing. But do you know what? That's just about all the negatives, because that aside, you're not going to win any races in this thing. It won't qualify for a lot of the races because it's a weaponised vehicle. But it's an Esprit. And it's a really good example of an Esprit. It just feels really cool. I can't say I've ever used the machine guns on this. I assume it's the same button as all the other weaponised vehicles, but you know. So as we come round here, it's been reasonably capable. As you can see, it's a little bit of a handful. It spins out really rather disappointingly easily. But none of that should distract from how cool a car this is. There are plenty of good cars in the game. And as it pulls in a 326, which is a kind of okay-ish lap for the across the map. You know, it's not near the top, but it's not right down at the bottom. But as I was saying, there are plenty of really cool cars. There are plenty of really good weaponised cars. But this, it just has a really nice feel. It looks like the real Esprit. Yeah, maybe with the handling it doesn't drive like the real Esprit, but it's on offer this week. And it's an unusual car. It's another one that you really don't see very often. So even though it has its flaws, I think that they are flaws that you should consider overlooking, because this is a really cool thing to have. And I hope you found that useful. And I'll see you all in the next one.